Welcome back to the Black and Gold podcast for your next fix of our Scottish football journey. Thanks again for joining us on the next step of our adventure with the Black and Gold podcast. This week we'll bring to you a guest who has applied his trade in Scotland and south of the border with a playing career spanning over 20 years. A man that's seen the highs of winning trophies to dealing with administration, all in the footballing world. Please keep liking and sharing all our stuff. Share this episode so we can get viewed as many times as possible and keep supporting the Black and Gold podcast. Pedro,
yes,
we're back in the hot seat.
Back again.
Pumped up, ready to go?
Pumped up, just like Annan on Saturday.
Oh, brilliant.
Aye, good to go. Looking forward to it.
Should be a good one.
Aye, I had a quick look at his Wikipedia. 544 games, 250 goals.
Cracking.
Great return.
Brilliant.
54, I'm sure.
Is it not official?
And what we're going...
Like, has Wikipedia got it wrong?
I don't know, mate. I think it's 254.
Is it?
Well, I'll take that. But what we're not going to do is go through every single club he's had as well. Jeez, man, we'll be here till tomorrow. No, I am looking forward to it. A player, obviously... Have you played with him? No,
obviously Colin's been at a decent level. I was actually at that again. We spoke about it with Jaddy when he was in, and we went when Colin. It was that season. I think, did you done the pre-season or had started this pre-season with Annan before he went to Newcastle? So I can always remember that, him and Ryan McGuffey.
Good.
So good.
Right, I'll introduce our guest this week. I'd like to introduce our guest, a well-travelled player who's pulled on the shirts of clubs like Livingston, Dundee, Ross County, Shrewsbury Town, and of course, Annan Athletic. He's currently assistant manager at Queen of the South. Welcome to the Black and Gold podcast, Colin McMenamin.
Thanks for having us, guys.
No problem. There's your applaud. There he does it. He likes it.
He's ever applauded me.
Colin, are you a fan of the Black and Gold? Have you seen any of it?
I text Pete from the start of it. I think it's great. Getting people involved in the community. I think it's been great. It's dead funny. Obviously, his part can be rotten at times. I've heard it all before. I've heard the same joke a million times.
Just turn the mics off.
I love his knowledge of the lower league.
Oh, he's very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable.
Colin.
He knows so much about it. So.
He can't even remember some of the games he's been at, and that's a problem.
I did text him one week when I had to tell him who the managers at Arbroath were. He didn't have a clue.
Amazing.
I was like, mate, you need to get the two of them. But no, it's been great. And I said it's anything that brings a wee bit of interest into the local community is brilliant.
Yep, brilliant. Well, let's get cracked right into Colin's career because we've got a bit to get through here.
Oh, yes.
Youth career. So you started your youth career, Colin, at Queen of South. Obviously, you're born in Dumfries, so local club.
Well, born in Glasgow.
Born in Glasgow, were you?
Born in Glasgow, moved down to Dumfries when I was 1 year old.
All right, so early on.
I'm no... What? Thanks, Ma.
Can't give you too much stick.
So no, I moved down there when I was younger, so started in the local teams like everybody else, done the Max Thistle, and moved on to Queen of the South when I was about 14 and signed S form there, and kind of got punted for being too small.
Ah, did you? Right,
so
okay.
Got told I was too small, and crazily enough I went out on loan to Locker,
right,
who were kind of our rivals. So I kind of chucked football for a year. Didn't play from 15 to 16.
Wow.
The Queen's held on to my registration as well. So it's
nice of them.
I know, it's funny how it goes, because my mum's not a big fan of Queen of the South at all because of everything that happened.
Yep.
So when now went full circle and I'm back there, but I'm still trying to get my mum to come along.
It's amazing. Again, change days at Queen's and things are different in football now as well. But it's interesting to hear that. I didn't know that. And again, the career you went on to have from stopping playing at such a young age, was there any, when you stopped playing, did you miss it?
Aye, of course you did. And when I got the opportunity to get out of it when I left school, I then started playing amateur in Dumfries. Right. So I just played amateur on a Saturday. A few Annan boys, big Scotty and big Tony Sibrin and young Ginge. So I played with them in the amateurs on a Saturday. And to be fair, they boys looked after me, because you go to places like Kelloholm and Kirkconnell and you'd get kicked all over the place. And after that, Annan came in to go and play for their under-18s.
Right.
So that was me thinking, right, I'll give it another wee shot, just go and play with my pals. And we had a decent team at under-18s with Annan.
And that's how the Annan journey kind of started. I know it was quite a short journey anyways that you were there, because you went, So you started under 18s. When did you get into the East of Scotland side?
Well, I played the full season with under 18s.
Who was the manager?
Hizzy. And we won the league. So we did. It was a good level. Like with Workington were a good team, and Harrowby Catholics were a good team. Big Grant Holt, remember Big Granty? He played for Workington. Went on to have a brilliant career. So after that, I got pulled into the first team squad every now and again when I think it was Tony Chilton, was it?
Schultz, aye.
Yep.
Was he before Davy?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So he'd pull me into the squad a couple of times just to travel. So that was good. And then when Davy came in, he just said, "No, you're going to be my starting number 9. You're going to play every week for me."
Davy Irons.
And sure enough, to his word, first game of the season, Scottish Cup games. Remember the Scottish Cup qualifiers used to be really big.
Yep.
We were home to Tarf, and I got flung straight in. I was only 18, 19 at the time. So Davy obviously seen something in me and threw me in right at the start.
Sink or swim.
And I played pretty much every single game that season.
Brilliant.
What players were in the team at that point?
Well, obviously with Jardy. Jardy on it. So Jardy was in it. Big Proudy, Stan Leslie,
So good.
Paul Laurie. Up front with Doc, with Marcus Thompson, Barry Elliott, middle of the park, Mark Nicholwide. A really good team, really good bunch of boys, and we had a really successful time at Buffer.
Yeah, no, and I think that
Obviously Guff, better not forget Guff.
Yeah.
Been everywhere with him as well. So.
He just went on to win that league that season. Brilliant memories from that.
Great memories. It was last game of the season, home to Whitehall Welfare. It was our end of season dance. I don't know if Annan, we used to do it all the time.
It used to be a big thing, is Annan, yeah.
And I was lucky enough I scored the goal. Got a good picture of me scoring the header to win the league. And we were all had our kilts on that night.
I've seen the photos.
There's a few photos kicking about.
Did Christine Proudfoot put them on after Jardy's podcast?
She did.
I think.
Did she? Well, aye. We had some great nights. Honestly, I think I got tied to a goalpost. Stan Leslie tied me to a goalpost. Still got the bruise on my cock for dragging me about the place.
From tying you up with the cock,
because goalpost. You know what he's like with Stan. So brilliant memories. Great couple of days. Absolutely brilliant times.
Aye, no, brilliant. And then we need to obviously talk about the move to Newcastle and how that all came about as well, because a lot of Annan fans will want to know, some of them will know but others won't, how that relationship with Annan and Newcastle started. And obviously you and Ryan McGuffey got the move over to the North East.
Well, Ryan went at the end of that season.
Right.
They came to watch in a couple of pre-season games and I'd been away. By all accounts, I don't know the exact story, but they were coming to watch me anyway because I'd scored 40 or 50 goals or something, and they came to watch me and I hadn't been there. So they obviously seen Guff. I think Annan played St Mirren, I wasn't there, and they took Ryan. So I never thought in it. I never thought I was going to be a footballer. I just played with my mates on a Saturday. I've still got my first wage.
And that was still your mindset at that time, yeah?
Totally. I was an apprentice joiner with R&D in Dumfries. And I was just like plodding along thinking, this is great, I'm getting a wee wage for Annan, a wee win bonus and all that. And it wasn't till we started the second season when Davy said to me, right, you need to buck up now. A lot of teams are looking at you. And me being just a daft wee boy from Lockside, I was like, nah, I can be fine. And on a night out, Stan Leslie collared me up against the wall. Like, you've not got a clue what chance you've got, an opportunity. He went, you better fucking get on with it and give it a go. And I did, and then I went on trial to Newcastle in December, and they offered me a 6-month deal. And I spoke with Dave Irons a lot about it, and then it turned out that St Johnstone wanted me, Dundee United wanted me, Carlisle wanted me, there was a lot of teams wanted me, and they were all going to be offering me a year and a half.
Yep.
So we went back to Newcastle and they offered me the 18-month deal, and decided to sign there because I just thought it was too good an opportunity.
Do you know, you're retired and you're older, and that reflect back to that Stan Leslie moment quite a bit?
Oh yeah, all the time. We all know Stan.
Yeah.
That group of boys, the proper men's men, but they looked after us. Me, Ryan, they looked after us. And listen, Stan knows what he meant to me. Afterwards, I've told him everything. His mum and dad know how much it meant to me and how much he looked after me. So it's definitely a sliding doors moment, probably.
Yeah, it's a big defining moment.
Defining moment. I could either have been let's go out on a Friday night all the time. Or, like,
nice moment to have though.
Brilliant, yeah.
Because that was the culture at Annan.
100%.
There's no shame in saying it. It was brilliant. Just drink, game and then drink either from on the bus on the way home or home games straight in the bar.
Brilliant,
wasn't it?
So they were absolutely brilliant. And like we'd have a couple of pints after training on a Thursday night and stuff.
Yeah,
in the social club.
Yeah.
So, no, I've got a lot to thank, especially Stan and Dave Irons for giving me an opportunity.
Yep. Your time at Newcastle. When you did sign, how long did you sign for?
I signed for 18 months. So 18 I signed
months.
that
You're
January.
not fucking listening.
Sorry.
So I signed that January, and I signed an 18-month contract. Just completely eyes wide open, like, wow.
Like straight away.
Within a week, thinking, I'm not good enough for this. Standard was outrageous. And I just thought, I don't know if I can do this.
And were you in with the first team straight away?
Straight away. My first day I was in, the reserves had a game. My first day, and obviously I wasn't playing, so it was right, you're training, and it was like pick your striking partner, and I was Alan Shearer my first day.
Amazing.
So it was my first day at Newcastle, but I was a wee bullshit git. I didn't care, and I'm like, I can take you on, no bother, I'm on finishing, I'll beat you. And he loved it, and they all kind of laughed and joked about it, like this wee daft guy that was built like the side of a fiver.
Straight in about
it. Second day, they're doing the recovery. I'm with the first team again, going through the shape for the game against, I think they were playing Aston Villa on a Saturday, and I'm involved in the shape. So from going, I played for Annan on a Saturday against Whitehall Welfare, and on a Monday I was training with Alan Shearer.
Amazing.
It was an eye opener.
Brilliant.
Really good fun though. And then obviously realised I wasn't good enough to be an actual player down there, so I just enjoyed the other side of it.
So you obviously moved down there. You and did you stay with Ryan or?
Me and Ryan had a house for
Ryan McGuffey. Sorry for anyone listening.
Me and Ryan had a house together with another boy called Dave McMenamin, Irish lad.
Yep.
So we had a house down there for the year and a half. Lovely house in South Gosford, right beside the metro, straight into the city centre. And it was like Newcastle was different then. It was brilliant. Great fun. And there was, I don't know, back 2000, 2001, there's still a big drinking culture with everybody.
Yep.
So you'd be out after every reserve game on a Monday, you'd go out every Tuesday because you were off on Wednesday. You weren't playing on the first team on a Saturday, so you could go out the Friday. So it turned into just a party.
Was there many of the first team lads out and on?
All the time, yeah. All the time. Especially Saturdays. They would always be out. I remember we were out on a Saturday night when fucking pure battle erupted. And John Carver, who's now the assistant manager in Scotland, he was a coach at Newcastle. So on a Sunday morning, I've got 3 missed calls for JC. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? So I phoned him back. He went, I wasn't out last night. I went, aye, what? He's like, no, if anybody finds out, the manager finds out that I was out. So he was sitting in my company with Brian Kerr and the 2 Caldwell brothers, sitting just getting absolutely leathered, and he's in the middle of this riot. So it was, and I'm like, this is one of the head, assistant head coach of the first team, phoning me on a Sunday to say, please don't tell Bob. So I was out last night. But then you just see where his career went. He's now assistant manager in Scotland.
Jesus.
It's mad.
But as you say, cultures, again, back then it was the culture to go out all the time, and and again, things change. But with regards to your playing time at Newcastle, was it reserves mainly?
Reserves completely. At the end of my first 6 months, we went away and I got called back early for pre-season. With me, there was maybe 3 or 4 of the reserves we got called back early because we entered the Inter-Toto Cup.
You remember it?
Remember
yes.
that?
Yep.
So I went away with the first team for that whole pre-season with the Inter-Toto Cup. We went away to Munich. We played in the Olympic Stadium and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And we got beat in the final of some French team. So I never really got any minutes, but I did get to go away for that Inter-Toto Cup, and I was involved with the first team pretty much the whole pre-season, and the whole start of that season I travelled a lot with the first team. I was in the match day squads, but just never made the bench.
Did you then feel you were getting closer? Did you feel like you were close to the first team at all, or?
At that point, yeah. But then we signed Craig Bellamy.
Nice.
So it was just, again, Colin just gets knocked back down. So the strikers in front of me were Shearer, Bellamy, Kern Dyer, Carol Court, who they bought for £7 million, and Kevin Gallagher, who was a Scotland international. Yep. So they were all in front of me. And then behind me we had Sholami Obi and Michael Chopra, who were both getting ready to take over me because they were better than me.
Yep.
So I had a lot in front of me. But Mick Wadsworth was there, and he loved me. So he did, and at the end of the first 6 months of that season, they offered me a 3-year deal, and I turned it down.
For what reason?
Because Mick had just left, and he went to Southampton, and he was like, "Don't sign anything, I'm taking you to Southampton." And I'm like, "Okay." And then I think he was assistant manager at Southampton to, was it Stuart Gray? And they lasted about 7 weeks.
Right.
So I turned down Newcastle's 3-year deal, thinking I'm going to go to Southampton, and then I was kind of screwed after that.
Right.
So it was.
And then obviously your Newcastle time came to an end. Livingston was the next club calling for you. How did that come out? Was it an agent? Was it a move? Who was it?
I had an agent, and you know what agents are like. They'll sell you the world. But I was going to sign for Oldham under Mick Wadsworth again. He was manager there. But there used to be a thing called ITV Digital. You'll be way too young for this. They went bust. And ITV Digital were like the new Satanta. They were going to play all the Championship, League One games and all that. So they went bust, so the money kind of fell out the game in England. So it was a case of, do I stay down in Manchester with Oldham and fight because the prices were so high for accommodation and stuff, or come back up to Livingston, who'd just finished third in the Premier League. And John Robertson was the coach. And I loved Robbo. So when I went to meet John Robertson and Alan Preston, they kind of sold the whole thing to me about going to Livingston, and it was a great move, to be fair.
So were they the two managers, or?
No, they were coaches.
Jim Leishman?
The manager was Jim Leishman and Davy Hay, co-managers.
Oh yes, I remember the period.
But they're two coaches, and it was John Robertson and Alan Preston. And
Biscuits is a good guy.
Aye, so Biscuits was my agent as well.
Oh, was he?
No, at that point, but he became my agent.
Yep.
And then they were the main coaches, and everything was based about getting balls in the box for strikers, because that's what Robbo was. And it just suited me down to the ground that I actually went to Dundee United for a week, and it pished down for a week. And I remember phoning my agent at the time saying, just tell Livingston I'll sign. Like, I can't stay in Dundee any longer. This place
pisses down the
This pace is fucking depressing. It's the middle of July and it's pissing down for a week solid. So I just jumped on a train for Dundee straight to Livingston and signed for Livingston that afternoon.
Fuck.
So I did.
Brilliant. It's in your good return there.
I done okay. Some stories to tell at Livingston, but I scored. I come off the bench, scored against Celtic. Wednesday night, come off the bench, scored against Rangers. Derek Lilly got injured, so I played on the Saturday against Aberdeen and scored. Played on the Wednesday night against Hearts and scored. Played Kilmarnock, 5th game. Derek Lilly's back and I wasn't even on the bench. I wasn't even on the park. I didn't get off the bench onto the pitch. We got beat 2-1 Monday morning. Can chap Davy Hayes' door. I've scored like 5 in a row against the 5 top teams. You never even put me on. Why am I not getting time in front of Derek Lilly? He went, because he's fucking better than you. Go to my office. I was like, aye, okay. Went,
how dare you?
That's how you got treated as a youngster. Then it was like you couldn't question anything. But I scored, honestly, I scored a lot of goals in that period, and then I went out and loaned to Falkirk, but it was Biscuits became manager.
Yes, I remember the period. Was Biscuits the manager when Livingston eventually went in administration?
No. He would have been an assistant to Davy Hay again, because we had the Brazilian manager.
Yes, I remember him coming in for a
Marcelo somehow. We called him Mike Bassett because he had MB. And we were playing away at Celtic Park, and he told everybody he found Ronaldo, like R9 Ronaldo, on a beach, and coached them with tennis balls and all that. We were training with tennis balls. Tennis balls in training. We went to Parkhead and he was giving it, boys, I have a formation to beat the Celtic. We go 4-3-3, we pass it. We were 5-0 down in half an hour. And that was the end there. And Davy took over then to the end of the season, and then we went to administration the day of the semi-final of the League Cup.
Right.
So we did. So that would have been the February time. We went into administration that season.
Right.
So a lot of people lost their jobs. It was horrible.
How did you find that period of administration? Obviously, that'd be your first. We'll get on to a couple more that came your way, but certainly your first feeling of administration, was it difficult? Was there a lot of big earners at the club at that point?
Yeah, Alan Main was probably on about 5 or 6 a week.
Right.
We had Marvin Andrews,
Fernandez there.
Javi Sanchez Brotto.
Oh, so he was.
a lot of big earners, Stuart Lovell, Keno, Lee Makel. So they were paying out big bucks. So they were. And it helped me get into administration because the bigger earners got, and I was seen as an asset then.
Yep.
I wasn't an asset the other 2 times right administration, but I was an asset at that time, so they wanted to keep me. They actually offered me a new contract, and I was like, right, okay, and I got a lot more game time because of it. So it probably suited me, that administration, because it gave me a chance.
And then when you moved obviously to Shrewsbury after that, was that? Did you get a move? Were you out of contract, or how did it come about?
It was the season Richard Goff had took over for Biscuits, for Alan Preston.
Yep.
And we stayed up in the last game of the season. We drew with Dundee. Dundee got relegated, and we stayed up, and we had a good party. And we knew that Paul Lambert was coming in as manager. And I got a phone call just saying, "Don't think Paul Lambert wants you in his plans, so you can go." And I was like, got a year left in my contract, but it turns out it was optional for both of us. So I phoned my agent and I signed a pre-contract about a day later for Shrewsbury.
Right.
So I did. So it just came about because I hadn't been treated all that well for Livingston. So I didn't even wait for my contract to end. I just signed a pre-contract with Shrewsbury the next day after getting told that Paul Lambert wanted nothing to do with me.
So what happens there on a pre-contract call? Do you have to wait until a certain time, or when
no,
can you go?
You can sign a pre-contract now, but back then the English contracts didn't finish till the end of July.
Right.
So like I'd my contract was up with Livingston at the end of June. So this was at the May time. So I couldn't sign for anybody till the end of June. But Shrewsbury were desperate for me to sign. And I could have signed for Dunfermline and Kilmarnock at the time, but I just decided, I'm going to go down south and give it a bash. So I signed a contract with Shrewsbury. I met him at Hamilton Services the next day after getting told that Paul Lambert didn't want me. So. And
again at Shrewsbury, Mick Wadsworth was assistant?
Assistant, yeah, to Gary Peters.
Right.
Brilliant club, brilliant town. It was then the old-fashioned stadium, Gay Meadow. It was brilliant. Again, it was just a bunch of young boys and all living life together and just out all the time.
And a young Joe Hart, which obviously
Joe Hart, yeah.
When you were in Annan, obviously I spoke to you quite a lot about that.
Well, Joe was his breakthrough season.
It was.
And he was incredible.
Was he?
If you ask any of the boys, Jardine and all that, I used to rave about him, going, this boy will play for England. Like, he was
that
super
good?
Super confident. And you'll know yourself, as an 18-year-old goalkeeper, you're going to be my number one.
Yep.
It's hard for goalkeepers, you know what I mean, just to get thrown in like that. And League 2 in England's rough and ready. It's
physical.
It's very physical. So he got battered about. Big lad, confident lad, and he was just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Daft and all, like.
Goalkeepers aren't they? Fucking idiots. Like my ex at the time, Jill. I came in for a night out, and my door went, and Jill was like, "Who is it?" And he's like, "It's Joe." And Joe comes in. And he just strips down to his boxers and he starts doing Klinsmans on my living room floor. So Jill's like going, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Having a laugh. You want to join me?" She's like, "No." And about 2 weeks later, we came out of a pub in Shrewsbury and he was dancing on the top of somebody's car and got arrested. And you're like, "Joe, what are you doing?" "I don't know." But he was just so daft about it all. But great lad, and God, still good friends with him now.
Brilliant.
Incredible career. Brilliant goalie. And again, probably you've seen him at Man City even when he was in his prime, but when he came up to Celtic, I didn't realise how good he was. And again, just his personality, the way he took on the club, and playing for Celtic or Rangers is such a difficult thing to do. So the way he took it on was...
Still be passionate about it after leaving where he was and coming up.
Well, I was at the Celtic Rangers game at the start of the season, and I'm walking past, and then somebody walking this way, and all the fans start singing "Joe, Joe, Super Hart," and I can't be here. And we just bumped straight into each other, and I was like, "Fuck, are you doing here?" And he's like, "Got invited up. I'm sitting in the posh seats." I went, "Of course, yeah, you fucking millionaire bastard." I mean, gets everything for nothing. But no, he still sorts me out for all my tickets for away games to this day. So I was raging when he left because I thought, "Oh, that's my away tickets, scrap." But no, he still managed to get me.
To be a legend there for the rest of his days.
The fans really took it. But he's such a passionate boy that he was always going to suit this club right down to the ground. He loved it. His family loved it. And I had a great time.
So your time at Shrewsbury, great time, really good time in your career?
Time. I should never have left.
Why did you leave? You were only there for one, am I right in saying one season?
I signed a 2-year contract and then Gretna bought me.
Right.
So as soon as the manager came to me saying, listen, we've accepted a bid for Gretna, you're allowed to go and talk to them. You kind of think, right, why have they accepted it? If they wanted me to stay, why are they accepting it? But the manager at the time, Gary Peters, said to me, I don't want you to go. He went, but the club have accepted it, it's up to you. And I came up to Gretna and I got sold the dream.
Like everyone else?
Like everyone else, yeah. And to be fair, the first year was brilliant. So it was the first.
Who done the talking when you met them? Was it Rowan?
Rowan.
Aye.
Mm-hmm. And I should have known for that day. I was in it with Biscuits, my agent.
Yep.
In the meeting, Biscuits is like, listen, if you're under pressure, Colin can sit in and he can play wide, he can do this. And Rowan just went, no, we attack. We get the ball and we attack and we score goals. And at that moment I should have looked to Biscuits and went, let's not do this because you're like, no, it was just crazy. But no, I ended up signing for Gretna for, I think it was just a 2-year contract I signed.
Aye, because Biscuits took a lot of players like that. I was with, again, he had Paul Cherry, who was beside Biscuits in the same agency. I remember taking a lot of players to Gretna at that point. So it's interesting. So what was your, again, ask this question, Andy, when you went in there, did you know it was going to blow up at some point?
No, like it was like my first game was, we played Hamilton in the first game of the league and we won 6-0 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, I was on the bench that day and I thought, oh, how am I going to get in this team? We're in 5 or 6-0 every week. But then the Thursday night we played Derry City in the UEFA Cup and got beat 5-1. And I thought, hey, I'm going to get a chance.
It's a leveller. Aye.
And then the Sunday after that, because it was the Sunday game, we played Clyde away. We won 2-0. I scored 2. Week after, we played Queens at Palmerston. Scored 2. We won 3-0. And then I scored another. So I'd scored 6 in my first 3 games. And I just kept scoring goals and goals. And everything was brilliant. Brooks was brilliant. Everything was great. I still think Gretna might have been okay if they didn't have to go to Motherwell. When they got promoted. Because that turned into a shambles. But at that time, everything was great. We got looked after. We all had our cars. We all kind of got stuff that you don't want the taxman to find out about.
Got weighed done.
Bonuses and whatever else.
Got some bonuses. Like, I've said it before. I've probably told Pete. Like, I scored a hat-trick against Partick Thistle, and Brooks was like, "Come and see me on Monday. I can't give you my car anymore because he used to give his Aston Martin.
I mind that. Yep.
Can't give you that anymore." Don't worry, forgot all about it. When on the Monday and his son came up to me and he went, "My dad's giving you this," and he gave me an envelope. And I just thought nothing of it, threw it in my bag. In the car up the road with the boys, and they're like, "What's in it?" I was like, "I don't know." And there was £2,000 sitting in a brown envelope.
Aye.
And they were just looking, going, "Fuck, driving the Aston Martin, I'd rather have the £2,000." So that's the kind of things that were happening. And they're like, it was just mental, absolute chaos.
Amazing times. The first season, did you win the league?
We won the league, yeah.
Won the league that season. That obviously took you into the Premier League.
Took us into the Premier
League. Yep. And that's when everything started to sort of, as you brushed on it there and said the Motherwell thing. Mm-hmm. Do you think it was only the Motherwell thing, or do you think it was just unsustainable?
It was probably unsustainable as well, but we went for having maybe 2,000 fans at Radle to playing at Motherwell in front of 800.
Yep.
So we did.
And you were obviously having to pay Motherwell for the pitch.
And like the first game of the season, we played Falkirk, and do you remember Rowan turned up?
Yeah. Yep.
Trying to get in the changing room and.
That was a contract stuff though, wasn't it? Ken, he had to turn up.
No idea.
Got advice.
It was a crazy situation.
Crazy for the players, and like it was supposed to be a big day for us all, and for him to turn up and just take the limelight, it wasn't great, and it just went rapidly downhill after that. And David Irons gave me the heads up to say, "Call, get out of here. This place is going to go tits up."
Aye.
Did you get out before administration happened, or were you working your card? Obviously speaking to your agent and stuff.
I went on loan till the January to Livingston, so I just went on loan to get away.
Yep.
And they wanted me off the wage bill, so I went on loan. They went into administration at that point, and then at the end of that January, they actually let me go for nothing. They gave me a free to go and sign for Dundee, which I think but I'm still a creditor. I'm still due about £50,000 for Gretna, which I'm never going to see. So.
I was just going to ask you, you'll get that?
It's to be fair, the letters have even stopped. You used to get the letter every now and again saying offering you 1 pence in the pound, but then you need 75% of people to say yes to that. Yep. And I think Brooks Mileson's due £3.5 million, so I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah,
that is what it is, I suppose.
Yes, and then you moved, as you said, to Dundee. Big club then, back then?
Massive club. I didn't realise how big they were. Obviously, I'd played against them lots, but being up there, it is a huge club. So it's huge history, and I think I finished second every season I was there.
Who was the manager that signed you?
Alec Ray.
Ah, right.
Alec Ray was my manager at the start with, and I got on great with him. I loved him. You've probably come across Alec as well. He's a bit of a character. And that first season, we were up at the top of the league fighting alongside Hamilton. Hamilton's first season with the AstroTurf pitch, and I think they conceded 3 home goals all season. They just couldn't get beat at home. And I remember Alec Ray coming in after a game and going, we were on £18,000 a man to win the league. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what the fuck? Do you not want it? I'll go to my bank and lift 18,000 jibs and put it on a table so you can see what it looks like. And you're like, So it was that turned into chaos as well. But big club, and we were just unlucky never to get it over the line.
So how many times, what did you say, you finished second?
Second 4 years in a row, I think.
Wow.
Was it?
4 years in a row.
It's a bit of a sickener, isn't it?
And that was before the playoffs. So you didn't even get playoffs in. So you finished second and got absolutely nothing. So it was a pain in the arse.
Jesus.
And then, was that another team that hit administration while you were there?
Yeah.
That was a common theme here, Camille.
Remember when Rangers went into administration? I tweeted, and a Scottish team going into administration and I'm not there. It can't be true. I got death threats.
Did you?
Rangers fans. So I did
for just a wee joke?
Aye, I had the police come to my door because I had to take them seriously. I got absolutely mullered on Twitter for Rangers fans because I had a wee snipe at them. Aye. But yeah, we went into administration once Gordon Chisholm had taken over.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chizzy, yeah.
Chizzy had taken over, him and Dodsey. And we went into administration in October. But this time I got made redundant. I was one of the top earners and wasn't an asset anymore. So I was one of the ones that was made redundant.
So how did you find that compared to other ones that obviously you'd faced? Was it
Dundee
brutal?
Was awful, yeah.
Was it?
Absolutely brutal. I got caught with Sky Sports coming straight out, so it was quite an emotional kind of bite at everybody on the TV. And
talk us through what actually happens. Does the administrators pull you into it and say, by the way, that's you, you've not got a job anymore?
Pretty much. They basically, you know it's coming because you know who the top earners are, usually strikers. And obviously, well, I might not be the top earner with Lee Griffiths, Gary Harkins, but they were assets. They were sellable, so they were never going to release them. So I just got pulled in the morning for the administrators, and they just said, right, can you sign this? This is your redundancy forms. You're no longer a place here. And you're like, so what happens? That's it.
And do you get paid up there?
Nope, you get nothing.
Nothing at all?
Absolutely nothing.
Just the contract ceased?
Contract ceased.
Wow.
You then become a creditor of the club. So you do. So you then have to come to an agreement with them to what you're willing to accept. And as players, we done a deal with Dundee so that they could come out of administration, and we'd get 50% of our money, whereas all the other creditors only got 10%. So it's horrible because you've seen people in the cleaners getting their jobs taken away from them, kit man, groundsman, people in the office. It's the people that nobody sees in the background that all lost their jobs as well.
Yeah.
And as a player, like, I was fortunate enough to go and get another club, but for them it was their livelihoods completely taken away from them, and it's like that.
Yeah. It's hard for players as well though, because again people don't see that side of football, that it can be so ruthless, and again you lose your job, you've no income coming in then, and then obviously you worry as a person. I know what you're saying, Colin. There is other people like the cleaners and the staff there that have probably been there for a long time in football clubs. It's a horrible situation. But yeah, so what happened after that? You went down to Queen's. Did you train with them, or was it basically just a case of sign them papers, you're done, and then go and find yourself a new club?
You're free to go.
Yeah,
free to sign.
You got special dispensation then to sign outside the transfer window.
Because it was October, I think, when I read,
So, because
I think it was about the 15th, was it not?
Good Peter.
But the thing is, I'd scored on the Saturday before I think it was Monday or Tuesday.
So stock was high, Colin.
I scored on the Saturday.
Stock was high.
So I did. So I scored Dundee's last goal before administration, and but it was big Kenny Brannigan who was a manager at Queen's.
Yeah.
Big KB.
He follows the black and gold.
He does.
Big KB.
Aye.
KB was my assistant under
KB.
Chizzy as
Right.
well at Queen's when I went on loan.
KB.
Great guy.
You know what he's like. And he phoned me up. How you?
Dog boss.
Doug Boss. Doug Boss. And he'd be like, just come and sign with me. He's like, I've got no money, but I'll get you some. So I was like, so I went in to train with him, and then they were like, could you play on Saturday? Because the squad was so low in numbers. I was like, don't want to play as a trialist. And he's like, no, the deal was there, they just had to find some cash. But I played 3 trialist games for them.
Right.
So I did. But I knew I was getting offered a deal. It was the Dumfries Barflies Supporters Club that got the money together to sign me. So when they offered me that, I got offered more money to go elsewhere. But I just thought I kind of owed them something for what they'd done.
Yep.
And they trained at Glasgow Green, which was handy for me living in Glasgow. So I decided to sign for KB, and that was an experience.
He's done well that season, though.
We've done really well.
Yep.
We lost the Challenge Cup final.
Yep.
I was cup tied, so I didn't play in it. So we were waiting for a pre-match in Perth because the game was at McDermott.
What one was that again?
Ross County.
Yes, right.
So we're at pre-match. KB, here's a pint. You're no missing it today because you're cup tied. Made me drink a pint at the pre-match. All the boys are eating their chicken and pasta, and I'm sitting with a pint going, "Hey lads,
Brilliant!"
So
what a man.
But you loved them. You loved them. So I missed that. But I think we finished 4th with Queens that season.
Brilliant.
Which is,
that's a
again,
good,
no playoffs, so we never got in the playoffs or anything. But we finished 4th, and I'd done well. I scored a few goals for Queens.
Mm-hmm. You're 2 for 1. 1 and 2. Sorry, just about everywhere you went. I was looking through it before. Really good return.
Well, I played with good players, to be fair.
It's your job.
It's your job, mate. It's your job.
Thanks,
fucking job. Just get yourself in the box. There's nothing fucking classy or clever about being a striker. Work your balls off, fix your touch, and get in the box. It's as simple as that.
It's quite consistent though when you look at the numbers,
really
as in all the teams. It's almost, as you say,
great return
every other game.
Yeah.
Which is.
Was there any against Cammy though?
Oh, there'd be a few in there, Colin. I'm pretty sure there would be. So you moved up north, Ross County.
Ross County.
Off the back of that good season with Queens, was there a decent deal on the table?
I could have signed for anybody really in the championship
right.
At that point. I went to meet Wraith Rovers, I went to meet Falkirk, I went to meet Morton, I went to meet Queens, and I wanted to stay at Queens, and I went to meet.
You don't have to say that now.
Then he went. Then he met Roy McGregor at Ross County who put the cash in front of him.
What I will say is about your time at County. Mm-hmm. You had great hair at this point, Colin.
I know it's gone now.
You had great hair.
Great hair. It's all gone now. But no, with Ross County, what came about was I went to meet Queen and South on the Tuesday night at their offices at Heath Hall. Had a meeting with them, and I said, right, who's going to be manager? Don't know yet.
Right.
I was like, right, because Kenny had me offered a new contract. I went, okay. Kelso, the physio, was leaving. I went, have we got a physio sorted? We don't know yet. There was rumours that they were going to be training in Carlisle. I went, are we going to be? Don't know yet. I went, I can't sign for you. Like, they were offering me a good deal. I was like, I can't sign for you.
Which is fair enough.
I'm like, and I can't remember who was it that said it. One of them said, what if we make you captain? Deal. I'm like, what if a manager comes in and doesn't like me? I was like, no. And I came out that meeting and I phoned Ross County that night, and they said, can you come up tomorrow? And I was like, right, aye. He went, stop in at the restaurant at House of Brewer, stop in there just after Pitlochry, get yourself a meal, give us the receipts, you and your missus. No, went up, stopped, had our meal, went up, gave me £100 for my meal, and gave me a decent deal, to be fair, and signed a 2-year contract with Ross County and loved it.
Who was gaffer at Ross County at that point?
Derek Adams.
Ah, right, yep.
Derek Adams. So, and his dad, George, was director of football. So it was George that dealt with all that kind of ins and outs. So they sold the dream again up there.
How did you find Derek Adams?
Flipping brilliant. What was it?
Flipping.
Doesn't swear, does it?
No. And he's obviously had his recent spell in Scottish football, which was very controversial.
It was a wee bit controversial, wasn't it? bit too much to say for himself, as per. We didn't go on. First 5 weeks up there, he pulled me into his office with Grant Monroe and Rocco Quinn. You three don't work hard enough. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't think he's worked hard enough in training. I'm like, I'm fucking scoring every week for you. I don't think you work hard enough. And he went, football talks, you know. I went, well, football talks shite. And he went, I've heard for your past manager that you didn't work hard enough. I went, right, is that alright? Let's phone Kenny Brannigan right now. And I went, no, we'll phone Kenny Brannigan now. I went, because you're talking shite. And we clashed. But because I scored every week, he couldn't drop me. He couldn't drop me.
It would have been uproar.
Until he could.
Until he stopped scoring.
Until he stopped scoring and he patched me.
Did you enjoy your time up there? Or obviously it was difficult when you've not got...
Times.
Was it?
Brilliant times. I had a house. Me and Rocco Quinn lived together up there. Absolutely brilliant times. Great bunch of lads.
Who's all in that squad? Give us some names.
Grant Monroe, Michael Fraser the goalie.
Yep.
Grant Monroe centre half. Scott Boyd centre half.
Boydie, yeah.
You had Richie Britton, Paul Lawson, Rocco Quinn, myself and Midge up top.
Midge is a character, isn't he? What a guy he is.
Oh, we had Jimmy Scott in that squad as well.
Jimmy.
So the two of them together was absolute carnage. And I warned them that the first day in there, I'd heard the stories. I'd said to the two of them, I knew Jimmy for his younger days at Livy. I said to the two of them, if I ever find anybody shiting in my shoes, I swear to God, I'll stab yous.
I was in the Scotland 19 squad. My first ever memory of Jimmy Scott was, and again, you don't really know many boys from other teams, right? And there was this boy called Fitzy from Motherwell at the time.
Yeah, I was at Roskilde Fitzy as well.
And Fitzy was sitting on the plane, we're ready to fly somewhere, and first time meeting everyone, so Jimmy Scott's sitting behind him, and Fitzy had a mole on his face, didn't he? And all I seen was, I think I was maybe sitting next to Fitzy, and all I seen was a finger coming across and went, Molly, 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 Molly. Oh, amazing. I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Literally poking him in the face with it. I'd hardly met him. Oh, incredible.
We always had a Sunday club up there. We'd always go out on a Sunday to watch Super Sunday, and we were in a pub and Jimmy came back for the toilet bollock naked with a tin of Spam. Nobody knows where he got this Spam for. He says he found it in the bathroom. So he's opened the tin of Spam and he's eating it out the tin with his fingers like this, bollock naked, like being sick over himself. And we're like, Jimmy, man, what you doing? But he'd be the type of one that started, you'd go out on a Saturday night after the game and everybody buzzing, and he'd just go, oh, and he'd just pour a pint over his head. Just like perfectly normal.
Just bonkers.
Them two are like, I've heard loads of stories about Midge and Jimmy, both off the scale of, well, boy, I don't know if he was coming to you, Lewis Toshney came up on loan. I think he went on loan,
but he was at Dundee, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's bonkers as well. But them two are off the chart.
Your story, like Rocco told us a story about Midge at Celtic when he was doing well, and I think Stratton was the manager, and somebody said to him, I'll give you 50 quid if you just go and kick over every single cone. Strachan set up. Midge just started kicking all the cones for the whole of training, messing up. Strachan's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like just
50 quid 50 quid up the road.
We won the league with Ross County, and on the Wednesday night, that Wednesday night in the Westerwood, we stayed in the Westerwood, and all night 24-hour bar, but there was an open fire. And we looked round and Midge had put 3 pairs of trainers in the fire, just picking up his trainers and just putting them in the fire. And you're like, what are you like? I don't know. You're like, lunatic. And then we went and trained on the Thursday, and Derek Adams ran us on the Thursday after winning the league.
No way.
Wow.
And I remember Midge just going straight up to his face and being sick on his...
Ran yous after.
Wow.
Wow.
Remember Tam Hendry? He was kind of like the fitness coach for Hart's old school military. I think he'd done a bit at Cove Rangers with Paul Hartley.
Right.
He brought him in on the Thursday and we ran.
Jesus.
On the Thursday. Won the league on the Wednesday night, out all night, and we travelled back up the road on the Thursday and we went straight to training and ran because we had a big game against Dundee on the Saturday.
That says a lot about him.
Yeah, he was over it. Mental. So.
Crazy. And then you obviously had spells at Morton, Celtic Nations, Steny, Hurlford, Cumbernauld United. I'll take you to the spell where you kind of started your coaching journey. Steny?
Steny.
Player, coach?
Player, coach. I took the reserve team as well. So basically, been at Celtic Nation under Willie McStay.
Yep.
And it's where I met Murph. Me and Murph played there together.
Pull your mic in a wee bit closer, please.
Sorry, mate.
No, you're right.
So,
there you go.
When the thing that happened at Celtic Nation had kind of finished, I got a phone call from Scott Booth.
Yep. Asking
me if I'd be interested in my coaching badges, and he wanted to bring in an experienced striker, but he wanted somebody to take his reserve team. So I went and met him, and I just thought it was too good an opportunity. So they were putting me through my badges. I was going to be taking the reserve team, and I'd also still be playing. So it was a no-brainer at the time, and I actually enjoyed coaching for the first time as well.
Were you looking to be going into coaching?
I hadn't thought about it until I worked under Willie McStay, and Willie McStay was brilliant, like so good on the training ground, and I loved every minute of his coaching and his training.
Andy had said that, no, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and when I spoke to him a lot about it at the time, and I was like, Scott Booth wants me to do my coaching badges, he wants me to be the manager of the reserves, and he's like, go for it. Even if you need any help with anything, not a problem. So then I thought, right, well, I'm going to have to take this a bit more seriously, and I'd done my B licence and done my coaching. And when Scott Booth got the sack, when we were in the December-January time, Brown Ferguson got the job and asked me to go come up to the first team with him, and then I was a coach for there all the way through till the day I left.
And then you took over?
I took over, yeah.
As caretaker to start with?
Yeah.
And then got appointed manager at Steny.
Yeah.
How did you find the difference between management and coach and assistant manager?
The stress is ridiculous.
Is it?
Absolutely ridiculous. Especially at part-time level, because it's full-time. You are constantly on it. And I didn't really want to go for the job.
Right.
But we'd had 3 very good results when I was caretaker. One being we beat Falkirk in the Scottish Cup, which was massive for Steny in that area.
Yep.
So I got offered the job the next day. I went through the interview process because I wanted to know what it was like. I've never had an interview in my life. So I went through that. So when they offered it me, I thought, a bit like when Willie said, you don't know if you'll ever get that chance again.
Yep.
So I thought, right, I'm going to give it a bash. But I was player manager for the first 3 games, and I dropped a runner against Arbroath and nobody said a word to me. And they're calling me gaffer on the pitch, and I just decided there and then I retired for playing that day.
Just a different dynamic.
And it was difficult as well because of my mates as well. I'd been a player with them that season as well. So I was probably a bit close with certain people than I was with others. So I had to distance myself completely from it, and it's really, really difficult. Really difficult. So I don't miss management. Coaching, not a problem. Get me on the pitch and having a laugh and joining in with the crack and all that. But the stress of being a manager was full on.
So assistant manager is where you...
I like it. Murph, Pete's worked with us. Murph lets us get on with it. He gives me rain to do my sessions and put things on. We talk about what we're going to do. And he lets us get on with it. I'm there if he needs anything. And you still get the crack with the players, don't you?
Because it's perfect balance for you.
Brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I've looked to the first season going full time. I've loved every second. It's been brilliant.
Yeah. Just quickly touch on the time where you joined Annan back in 2021 as assistant manager under Peter Murphy. Good to go back to Annan? Brilliant.
The first day down there, nothing had changed. It was the same people. It was still Wendy and Mary behind the bar. It was still Kirsty in the pie shop. Brysons were still running about, doing everything. Fit was there. And it just felt like coming home, to be honest.
Yep.
The same fans that were there, and I just thought, because at that point I'd been to Cumbernauld United to help Kieran McInnesby.
Yes.
Because my mate, and it was on my doorstep, so I just went to help him. And then Murph phoned me and just said, and I said, listen mate, I got sacked for Steny like 3 months ago. People are going to think I want your job. And he went, do you want my job? I went, no. And he went, that'll do for me. And I was like, right, okay. So I came in, I think it was a 3-month kind of trial period to start with. And that just happened to go on for another 3 years after that. So
extended. You got to work with Big Pedro?
Well, no, initially, no. I wasn't there when you first
came back after a year.
Because that's when you got the playoff final way against Edinburgh, wasn't it?
Yes, the first season we lost to Edinburgh in a game we should never have lost.
Very, very close, wasn't it?
Their keeper was unbelievable that night.
That was a great run.
So we got to the playoffs that year and lost. And then you came in after that, didn't you?
Yes, the next season.
We had a drunken chat that night about you coming back in and that. So when Pete came back in, and it's funny because like, have you seen him on a training pitch?
Not often, no.
Right, because he wouldn't speak to anyone. He was so quiet. So he was, and we'd be like, Pete, can you put this on? And he'd be like, oh. And see now, compared to when he first comes in, he's like, I kept telling him to go and do his badges, but he'll not do them. And you're like,
well, again, this is what I was going to ask you, but Cammy touched on it. Obviously, the difference between being a player and you've mentioned being with these guys and then suddenly having to thingy, it's totally different. Again, I was in that position, but being in, even helping Willie, it's the confidence is totally different because
totally.
I knew what I was like as a player. Like, fuck, this is bollocks, or you're very critical, and especially if it's your peers.
Yeah,
fuck that. So that, like on a Tuesday night, normally it would be like something like boxes, and then like Pete away and do a wee like couple of fun drills,
fun games, team games and stuff.
Yep. I would crumble, Cammy. The pressure was unbelievable.
But as a player, you used to getting told what to do, not telling people what to do.
I know.
So it's a total flip of it. It is.
What I say to Pete is, see if you're loud and you sound confident.
Yeah.
You can get away with anything you want. So you can get away with anything you want. So
you do that in your working life enough, Peter, pretending you know what you're talking about.
Blagging it.
Do you know what? We had a brilliant dynamic with Gaffer, myself, Al, JC, Peter, Colin. We had a brilliant wee room. So we had a great laugh and we knew when to work.
Yeah.
So we knew when to have a joke. We had a couple of nights out, fucking absolute bomb scare.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it?
Great,
man. Great.
Like, we went out in Carlisle one night and I've came back to the toilet and the man had just went, come with me. Takes me outside. I'm like, what's going on? He went, they fucking idiots are fighting. And I'm like, who? He's like, Al and Pete, they're boxing with these folk in Carlisle. And I'm like, oh. And then we remember the night we were in Glasgow.
Aye.
So we got Wonder Bar. We're at the table.
That time he booked that table and it turned up and there's no table.
He knows there was a table. He knows there was a table. So we're sitting, and know that way I don't drink shots. The gaffer doesn't drink shots. Pete comes back with a million shots. So the gaffer's just going like that and picking them up and pouring them away.
Just going like that. Oh, nice. Very nice.
So Pete, him, Al, and the two staff physios there.
JC was there for a bit, mate.
He was there for a bit. And then it got to that stage where you see his eyes go. And honestly, this song came on. And it was like the scene for In Betweeners. With the four of them all dancing, him at the front, Al going, I'll come. And I just looked at the gaffer, I went, I'm going up the road. The four of them all dancing and all that. Nah, that was amazing. So we had brilliant times.
All the women around us and everything.
I know you're lying now.
JC 21
you've made the move to the dark side, Queen of the South. No, you've obviously got the opportunity of full time. Was that, I know the manager Peter Murphy moved over to Queen's. He would ask you if you wanted to come and had that discussion with you. Yeah. Was the attraction of full time, was it something you were thinking about or not?
You're
hoping?
You're hoping. You're always kind of hoping. I think Murph's got big ambitions.
Yep.
I think his route was always going to go down that way. He's such a good coach, such a good manager. So I always thought that would be his route. When he spoke to me about would I come with him, but I think the first time I had a chat about it was a drunken night in Carlisle when they were all dancing about doing whatever. Me and the gaffer were sitting having a quiet beer, like
Ken the boring ones in the corner.
That was
I'll tell you about how daft you've been later on.
Talk tactics.
You were making a right fool of yourself.
So
shut up.
Let me go. We spoke about it then, and then when the Queen's thing came up, he's like, right, this opportunity is going to happen. Will you come? And I didn't really think about it. I just said, yeah, like, let's go for it. I trust in him.
Yep.
He trusts in me, I think. And we feel as though we can be successful with it.
Enjoyed it so far?
Loved every minute of it. As I've seen, my mate Kersey says, you love Monday to Friday. See, coaching on the pitch, Monday to Friday, Saturday's the only thing that spoils it. So, because even when you win, you don't enjoy it enough.
Yeah.
And if you get beat, it's the worst Like losing last week to Annan, see that drive up the road on the Saturday night, it was awful. And I went home, it was just rubbish, and you get so low. And then we went on Saturday, you don't get high, you just go, right, we've got Alloa next week.
Yep.
So Monday to Friday's brilliant. I love the coaching side. It's just Saturdays that can spoil it sometimes.
Ambitions for this season for Queens?
Well, to stay up, I think, wasn't it? Just wanted to stay up.
Just to finish above people. Listen, I think every team in this league has probably got ambitions of getting at least in the playoffs.
Yep.
I think every team in this league.
Every team's got the potential or not.
Well, I think there's been maybe how many games have we played? 11 games.
11.
And like there's been 6 teams top of the league.
Oh, that's incredible.
So Annan have been top, haven't they? So
we've started it alphabetically.
But Alloa. But that's his knowledge of the league. He doesn't even know Alloa, isn't it?
Cammy, sharp as attack, man.
Listen, but at the moment we just want to get better. We're a new squad. I was saying this to Harry Cochrane today. We're still 11 games into a season with a brand new team.
Yep.
We're still learning how to play, and we're getting better at the things that we're working on. It's going to be tight, but we want to be at the top half of the season, top half of the table. Coming into the season.
I don't like complimenting Queens, but Murph, like I say, it took him. It was 7 years, obviously, at Annan.
Yeah.
So you've got to give people a chance at the same time. To develop the squad and to get them into how do you want to play and get the message across.
Well, that's the thing, it took a long time to get that, and that's a good thing about having Benji and Matty.
Exactly what I was going to say. Plus obviously you worked with Reece and Mike.
So these boys know how we want to play, and like it's so many times we're having our meetings on a Friday and the analysis and all that, and Matty still answers the questions that the gaffer's putting out, and I'm like, fucking shut up. It's not about you all the time, because he's worked with him that long. He just knows it, he just rhymes it off. But boys are buying into it and they seem to be enjoying it, so we'll see where it takes us. Good.
Thanks for that call, brilliant. All the best for the season as well. Going forward,
not that much.
No, not too much, but nah, no, all the best.
On a personal note, all the best.
Yes. That takes us on to your best 11, which I'm looking forward to. Over to you.
I'm not going to lie, I forgot all about this. And then Pete texted me this morning saying, can you send me? I was like, oh no, so I was in the office. So I apologise to anybody that I forgot. Obviously I pinned Joe Hart in goals.
Yes.
It's kind of self-explanatory. We spoke about him. He was just an absolute leader at the age of 18. The fact of career that he's had is kind of ridiculous. Like,
no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. It's dead easy. And to be fair, I could quite easily have had Rob Douglas as well, because he was unbelievable. So he was at Dundee. And great character. Great character. Went with my back four. My two fullbacks are the two fullbacks from Livingston when we won the League Cup. Jamie McAllister started at Queens.
Went to Aberdeen.
Played with Scotland. David McMenamin done well at Livingston. Went down south. Played with Coventry and Plymouth. 2 internationals, so they were kind of easy to pick. Again, I couldn't really think of any fullbacks that I'd played with.
Two good fullbacks. Yeah,
so it's two good fullbacks.
Very good.
Two centre halves. I've went for my big roommate Livingston, Marvin Andrews. Big Marv was my roommate because we stayed away with every game.
Right.
Livingston, even the home games.
No one of them went bust.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And he was my roommate. He used to wake me up at 7 a.m. He used to say his prayers at the end of the bed.
Looks a good guy, Cole. Is he a good guy?
Oh, brilliant guy.
Looks infectious.
Absolutely. The nicest guy you'll ever meet. He came to my housewarming and was singing hymns. Like, he's a song. Like, my family's Glasgow. Yeah, you got to sing a song. He'd sing hymns and all that. But he'd wake me up every morning with, know how to talk in tongues. At the end of the bed, I'd be sitting there kidding on a sofa. So I've got Big Marv in there.
How did they talk?
I bet the way you sing. Remember that first training session? It's a bit like that.
I'm still like that now.
Beside him, I've got Gary Caldwell.
Cammy's pal.
Listen, I still speak to him. It's not a problem.
You guys have a follow? Did you?
When he was
talking to him now.
No, listen, we were at Partick Thistlery. Right? He just, it was one of them ones. He wanted me out of the club, and the only problem I had was he's banished me to train by myself and then with the kids,
right.
And I didn't like that. And I was like, look, see if you want me out, it's fine. Just have the conversation. We have spoke since, so it's not a problem.
Well, to be fair, Gazis, he's flying now.
Oh, flying.
Exeter are doing really well. I was at Newcastle with him, played in the reserves every week with him, And again, I played against him when he was at Hibs, played against him when he was at Celtic. So he was
good career, really good career. Really
obviously, he captained Scotland at one point.
Yeah.
So, like,
aye, that's a good one.
And to be fair, Gaz isn't going to watch this anyway, so you can still say he's got a massive head and fucking nobody likes him. So, in front of that, I've got my 2 setters. I've got Dave Edwards, who I played with at Shrewsbury. Well, again,
ball player kid, or dog?
Both. Old school, box to box.
Nice.
But then he played in a brilliant Wolves team. Obviously played with Wales in the Euros and stuff. So he had good players around him, with Ledley and Joe Allen.
Christ.
He was brilliant. Again, came through the youth system with Joe at Shrewsbury, and just full of energy. Box to box, scored goals, got assists, loved a tackle, and done really well. Beside him, I've went for my mate Brian Kerr. Again, he probably didn't have the career he should have. A few injuries, but he played in the Champions League with Newcastle.
Yeah,
it's good enough.
Again, another international as well. So there's loads of
right. St Kersrow's at St Mirren at the moment.
He's an assistant manager at St Mirren. So he is. So he's in there because, again, with the 3 I've got in front, I need a wee bit of cover behind, and Kersey will do that. He'll just be that pivot, get us playing. In front of them 3, I've got the 3 with Snoddy on the left. I was at Livingston with Snoddy. Brilliant player, brilliant character. You came across Snoddy?
Yeah, I was in the Scotland squads. Fantastic, great guy.
Absolute lunatic as well.
Yeah.
And I remember Richard Gough brought him into the squad. Richard Gough was remember the old tradition at Rangers that you would wear suits and all that. And Snoddy's like, I'm not got a fucking suit. He's like, we'll fucking buy a suit, or steal a suit, or borrow a suit. So Snoddy went and got a suit. And remember the tags you used to get on the suits that you had to cut off? He hadn't took them off, had he? His first wear, he's fucking Snoddy, wee daft boy for East End. So Snoddy gets in there again. I think every single player I've got in here is an international apart from these 2. And in the 10 I've got Dave Fernandez, who was incredible at Livingston, absolutely incredible. Again, went on to have a brilliant move, went to Celtic, came back to us on loan, and that's when he came back to us on loan, I played up front with him, and
different gravy.
Plays the 9, could play as a 10.
He must have came to Kelly after that. I was at
Kelly after that.
Yeah,
he went to Kelly after Celtic.
He's he's now like head of recruitment
of Real Madrid.
Well, he was at Man City
right
for years, and I think he's just moved to Barcelona. I think he has.
I knew he was
recruitment.
High up.
Incredible job.
So it was. I've spoke about him in a few podcasts. I've done a few of the Livy ones and all that. And
now you're on the big time.
I'm on the big time. But Dave Fernandez got to be in there.
Brilliant.
Beside him, I've got Michael Gardine, who was my strike partner.
Still playing?
Still playing. He got sent off against us on Saturday.
Did he?
Aye.
Oh, see, one of the ones.
He was one of the
first
ones.
First or second? Because it was
the
2.
Second one. He got the second. No, last man. He was screaming about it on Saturday that it shouldn't have been a red. I watched it back. It's 100% red. But not just that. Me and Midge were talking about it on Saturday. He said that they just had something. I think I scored 21 goals that season. He scored 18. But I think I set up 60% of his goals. He set up 60% of my goals.
Great partnership.
I'd stay high as a 9. He'd go wherever he wanted as a 10 and make things happen. And he scored 40 goals in the season for 2 strikers is good going.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have a team without him being in it. And then up top, they run the channels and just score goals. I've got Lee Griffiths.
The thumb.
So I've got wee Sparky up there. Again, came through Livingston with him, and then he signed for Dundee when I was there. The most infectious character.
Such a talent.
Oh, ridiculous. His left foot's like, I've never seen anybody kick the ball so hard.
Aye.
Yeah.
You're like, no backlift, just
rocket.
He'd score every goal possible. Free kicks, he'd bend them in it. We've seen it with Scotland against England.
Oh, aye.
It's a bit like natural talent with Lee Griffiths, wasn't it? It was
ridiculous.
Just
absolutely ridiculous. It's thick as thieves. Like, at one point, he got done for driving without a licence. So we were like, you can't do that anymore. And I'm driving through Dundee. Who the fuck's driving past me? Lee Griffiths. Peeps the horn and waves at him. Right? He waves back into training. Fucking grabbed him into the boot room. What are you fucking doing? Any chance he's screwing it up? Wasn't me. I'm like, mate, you fucking waved at me. He's like, fuck. Just stupid. Like, so stupid.
Because he didn't
Unbelievable player.
You'll maybe correct me, but he doesn't seem the type to be work hard at training. I'm not saying he was lazy, but he didn't look like he would be like an absolute fitness fanatic. So
no, he certainly wasn't
natural,
that.
That's what it looks
but
to me.
Complete and utter natural ability and confidence in his ability, confidence in his technique.
Right.
Like penalties, I'm on him. First day at Dundee, I'm on penalties. Himself. Free kicks, I'm taking all the free kicks as well.
But could back it up, obviously.
But he was a brilliant player.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
Brilliant
like, in terms of goal scoring, I don't think Scotland have produced somebody like him in a long time.
Wow.
Just off the cuff, scored goals. So, aye, that's my team.
Fucking right, good team.
A lot
Good
of
team,
internationals
Cole.
there.
Yep, really good team.
I'm not even getting close to it.
Right, good team.
You're picking it. Your manager down the bottom there, I see. So
Assistant.
Yes.
Assistant. Aye. And then I've got Pedro in there somewhere.
What a boy.
No, I've not.
What a boy. Nah, brilliant team, Cole. Really good team. Enjoyed that. That takes us to higher or lower.
Higher or
Peter.
lower game.
Higher or lower.
Love
I'm
it.
looking forward to it.
He's fucking stitched me with these numbers.
I've
I've
not
not been shuffled or nothing.
They've not moved
We
since
won't
Andy's
touch
been
them.
in.
Right, okay.
So
We never do.
No, Andy had a stinker. Pete, Scott.
Andy had a stinker.
So you've seen the higher or lower. 30 seconds on the clock.
Okay.
Peter will get his clock,
I've
or you can use this clock.
Yep.
And he'll get his whistle.
Sexy green one for you,
If you
Colin.
don't,
Good.
if you don't know the answer, just pass. I'll move
Okay.
on to the next one. Peter will let us know when we're starting.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Who scored Celtic's first goal on Saturday against Aberdeen League Cup semi-final?
Maida.
Scotland defender Scott McKenna plays for which Spanish club?
No clue.
Who currently sits top of Scottish League 2?
East Fife.
The Balmoral Stadium is home to which Scottish club?
Cove Rangers.
Who's the only Scottish player to win the Ballon d'Or?
Kenny Douglas.
The Spiders is a nickname for which Scottish club?
Queen's Park.
Which club do Rangers have Valkal Cherny on loan from?
No clue.
Charlie Adams is current. I've started, so I'll finish. Charlie Adams is currently manager of which English side?
Fleetwood.
By the way, Colin,
Was it okay?
right to the bottom.
And
I know.
fucking Scott McKenna's duel
1,
on
2,
it.
3,
No.
4 right just though.
So I'll go through them.
That's good, mate.
Who scored the first goal on Saturday against Aberdeen for Celtic was Cameron Carter Vickers'
So it was.
header.
Were you there?
No, we're the game, didn't we?
Oh, of course.
Number 2, Scotland defender Scott McKenna plays for which Spanish club? Las Palmas.
Decent move, that, isn't it?
Yes, very good move. Who currently sits top of League 2 is East Fife. You're right,
Got
only
that
on goal
right.
difference from Elgin.
Elgin.
Balmoral Stadium is home to Cove Rangers. Who's the only Scottish player to win the Ballon d'Or? Dennis Law.
Yeah, so.
Again, good guess. You
That
said
was between the
Livingston.
two
Yeah,
of
it was definite. The Spiders, a nickname of which club? Queen's Park. Which club do Rangers have Valkal Cherny on loan from? Wolfsburg it is, and Charlie Adams is currently manager of Fleetwood Town. So decent. What was that?
4 out of 8. Really
Great.
well, but getting to the
It's good.
bottom, no one's got near that yet, have they?
No, that was fast. I thought you'd
I've done a quiz for
mistimed.
I know.
I've done a quiz for the Queen's boys last week, actually.
Did you? Good.
So it was a good laugh, aye. Some fucking thick boys in our team, but hey, oh.
Right, so you've got 4. So you've got 4 opportunities to make
4
this.
opportunities.
Could be 8. You can turn this into 8.
That's your starting card.
Okay.
Now, happy with that as a starter?
Yep.
Right.
Unless you've stitched me with
Not at all, no. It's just we always ask.
I know
What
this.
number one, Peter, to start with? For
3
listeners?
of hearts for the Spotify listeners.
Higher or lower?
Higher.
Higher.
Higher than 3 of hearts.
And Queens of Spades.
Good
card.
It's a
Good card.
Change that.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
Oh, 10 of
Oh,
spades.
that's a good one. So you're currently on
That's 2,
6
so that's
points.
6, yep.
6 points. You're doing well.
Lower.
Wait there. Top of the table, this will take him.
This, I think he's already top.
Aye, yes.
You're
could be
already
right.
top, Colin, so anything else is a
Happy days,
bonus.
that's a bonus, mate.
Lower than a 10.
The only downside, I don't think we could go into administration, could we? So we'll see.
No, you've not got a heat on in here.
Self-funded.
Are you sure your face is red enough? Right. What did you say?
Lower.
Lower than a 10.
Oh, 9
Oh,
of hearts.
what a set of cards.
Number
So your
9.
One more to
last
go.
and final pick. Oh,
Okay.
7 so far.
7 so far.
Alright, I've got to go lower again.
You're going lower.
Lower than a 9 of hearts.
To make it
Oh,
8.
he's done it. Full
Oh,
house.
8,
5 of
superb.
spades.
Happy days. Did I beat Willie?
Yeah.
See, Willie's there.
Right.
You're just above him, Carl.
Love it.
Fantastic.
Love it.
Top of the
8.
table. Top of the
I'll
pile.
take that.
Top of
It's
the
a
pile.
great start.
It is a great start,
Great
mate.
start. Good, thanks for that, Colin. Quick fire questions.
Yep.
So I'll start off. Number one, what's the best stadium you've played at and why?
Best stadium for me is Parkhead. Obviously, I'm a Celtic fan. Scoring there's been brilliant. But the most enjoyable stadium to play at is Tynecastle. Love it.
Atmosphere?
Atmosphere, just love it. Everybody's dead close. Great wee stadium, and I always enjoyed games at Tynecastle.
Good, nice. Good. Who's the best player you've played with or against?
Well, playing it with, I've mentioned David Fernandez. I think he was unbelievable.
Talent-wise,
his centre of gravity and just how good he was on the ball. Against, it's easy. Just go for Henrik Larsson. It's the easiest one to say.
Yes.
Just throw in Henrik Larsson.
Brilliant one.
So, I never came up directly against him, but to say I've scored in the same game as Henrik Larsson. I'll take that to the grave.
Brilliant, great one. Number 3, what's been the most enjoyable part of your career? So it could be club that looked after you, dressing room, team spirit, any time.
I love my time at Ross County with the boys. But I'd have to say the 3 years at Annan that we had, because we had such a good time. First kind of real bit of success for Annan at that level, getting promotion. And
that was massive, wasn't it?
Some of the bus journeys we had were absolutely brilliant, with Pete on the mic, compare, and a few beers coming back for all the away games, and obviously to finish off with staying in League One on the last day of the season was huge for us, and it was just a brilliant 3 years. Good
answer, great answer. Number 4, hardest opponent you've played against?
Playing against the Martin O'Neill Celtic team. Remember sitting in the tunnel, and they played a back 3 all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Volgarin, Bobo Baldi and Johan Mialbi. And I just kept thinking, all 3 of them are going to fucking ruin me.
Just going to eat
me up. And I remember going up for a header, and I remember just my eating grass going, what the fuck just happened there? And Baldy's just came through and fucking smashed me. And I think I spent the rest of the game just trying to stay away from him. But you'd get away from him and Mialbi's 6'4" Swedish monster as well. So they 3 and that team was just fucking ridiculous.
They were a brilliant defence as well.
Well, that's what it was.
And it's not just that, they had Lennon and Thompson in front of them. Supporting, like, it was just ridiculous, that team.
I've got one of the photos that we put on for your montage coming on here. I've seen a photo, it was you. It looked like you were scoring or you were having a shot against Bobo Baldi. And I was like, I bet he says.
That's one of me scoring. It was at Hampden.
Is that what it was?
Scottish Cup semi-final. So Bobo Baldi never got close to me that one.
So you're going for the defence there, Celtic defence.
I couldn't choose between the 3
that's
of them.
Fine. Yep, perfect. Number 5, and lastly, tell us something we don't know about yourself.
I've been thinking about this, because see, when you come for Dumfries, everybody knows everything about you.
We might not know though.
So they do. Well, Pete knows, but I'm a qualified electrician.
Right, okay.
When I went part-time, I went back to college to become an electrician.
That was the route you went down?
So that's the route I went down. So I've still got my grading card in case it all goes tits up. So,
couple of wee odd jobs at Palmerston?
I have done, yes.
Have you?
I have.
Lovely, love that.
I've done some. I put up some LED lights and all that.
He's a new Davy Martindale. Going about with his fucking tool bag around the stadium.
Jim's been good with the boys. Jim McLean has been really good with us, and he asked me to do some lights. So no problem. So I done the gaffer's office lights. I done the tea room lights. Anything to just keep my hand in.
Totally, brilliant.
I like it.
Good, thanks. Great answers, Call, again. That takes us on to Peter's fans' questions.
Yes, so we've got only a couple of questions this time because we only put it out yesterday.
Cool.
So it was a rush to get them in, so a couple of them usually would have come in a wee bit later. But so from Keith from Facebook, what's Colin's proudest moment of his career to date, and what's his biggest disappointment? So it's a double
question, actually.
That's a good question, isn't it? Proudest? The fact I'm still in the game, I think. Considering I left Annan at 19 to be a professional footballer, I'm now 43, that I'm still in the game. Like, I think that's a hell of an achievement with somebody that's got my lack of technical ability.
You're serving yourself a disjustice.
No, but you know what I mean. I've worked really hard.
It's not just the technical you're shite at.
I think it's to be in the game for as long as I have.
It's
hard. Something to be proud of.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people getting out of the game and not being able to get back in.
A lot of young age and all.
Aye, and there's been a lot of players that are better than me that are not longer in the game. So I'm proud of the fact that 43-year-old I'm still involved in professional football at full-time level.
Yep.
And the biggest disappointment?
Biggest disappointment? That's a tough one as well. I think getting relegated with Stenhousemuir was horrible. Never suffered relegation before. Obviously, I took over in the February time. We managed to get into the playoffs. Fucking lost to you a lot, didn't we? Big swing scored.
I'm nodding, but I have fucking no idea, no recollection of that whatsoever.
Your memory.
I'm sure you were there, you know. You lost against Clyde in the final.
Aye, I was.
Yeah, you're there. Thanks for that, Pete.
I don't
Thanks for
even
backing me up there.
played.
Aye, so you beat us in the semi-final. So that relegated us that day.
Right.
So that was tough to take.
It was tough to take. It was tough to take. Being relegated as a manager, it wasn't nice.
Aye.
I was going to say something there, but I fucking lost my train of thought.
Not like you.
And someone you will know, Caleb, on TikTok, not paraphrasing here,
right.
Why did you leave Annan?
All right.
The real question was, why did you snake Annan?
Brilliant.
Right. I think
we've touched on it before.
Self-explanatory, innit? It was the opportunity to kind of
Full-time
football. And obviously Queen's are a big club. And we're hoping to see where it takes us.
The opportunity to go full-time is, like you say.
And who is Caleb?
Caleb Miller.
Do I know him?
I'm not sure, but
Right.
he was one of the boys that used to hang about with training. I'm sure he'd give you a bit of stick in the past. In the clubhouse and that.
I'm sure I seen him training for the 16. He was pure shite, wasn't he? So, I know who you're on about.
But aye, no, great.
No.
Like I say, it was only a couple called, nice and quick for you, but it was just, like I say, because it was yourself that was on, there was only a couple.
Good though. Good.
I will say, right,
Yes.
we went, we were Sammy Wallace's memorial match.
Yes.
How many did you score that day?
Who did I play for that day?
Annan,
Annan. Who against? Queens?
Queens.
I scored 5, mate.
Did you?
Against Queens,
Started on the bench.
Yes,
They
that's
put on the older
raging.
boys. But they started with the olders because they knew they weren't going to last that long. How funny was it to
I
start?
scored a hat-trick in Jardy's testimonial as
Did
well,
you?
against Gary and Moff.
Aye.
Talking about that, do you join in at training at all just now or not?
Yeah, all
Aye?
the time. All
Do
the
you?
time. Yeah.
Still bang the goals in?
I don't bang them in, but I let them hit off me.
You look Colin. He's a bit of an expert in the boxes, isn't you? The keep ball boxes.
I love boxes.
Oh.
Love the boxes, and I love head tennis.
Head tennis
Me
can't be it.
and the gaffer are still undefeated at Queen's. We took on Daniel Church and who was it? We Josh Walker the other day. 7-0.
Was it?
7-0. Granite. So
Christ's sake.
aye, love
Great.
the boxes and all that.
Aye.
Well, thank you for the fans' questions. Obviously, just we'll give you a bit more notice next time for getting questions in. So thank you very much. Keep sending them in.
Yes, great, thank you. And what's coming up in and around Annan Athletic this weekend? So we've got Annan v Stenhousemuir at Gallowbank, 3 p.m. kick-off, Saturday the 9th of November. So get behind the team, get there and support them. Friday night for the youths, we've got the under-18s. I've got a 6:30 kick-off at Raydale against Gretna. Saturday we have for the youths, we've got under-13s are away to Galloway Thistle, 11 a.m. And then Sunday there's a whole host of youth fixtures. We've got the 2017s are playing Soccer Bees, Stephen Sloan's old
Stevie Sloan's academy.
Yes, academy, ex-Annan player. 10 a.m. at the Mugga Annan. 2013s are away to Freve at Dalbeattie High School. 11 a.m. kick-off there. 2014s away to Heston and Greyston in a festival, and that's at St Joe's. Under 15s are away to Inter Galloway. 11 a.m. kick-off. Under 17s are away to Greyston. And that's at the Crichton with a 2 p.m. kick-off, and the under 17 Colts are at home to Gretna, 11 a.m. We've got Saturday, we've got the girls under 14s who are going really well at Annan at the moment, away to Stuart Nannock, 10 a.m. kick-off. The ladies this weekend are at home to Ardrossan on Sunday the 10th of November, 3 p.m. kick-off. So everyone get behind the men, ladies, boys and girls teams this weekend. Show them your support, and good luck to everyone from the Black and Gold podcast. Well, that brings us to nearly a close. I think we've got an exchanging of something for Colin.
Oh, we've got Colin. But again, He should get this because of his performance in that.
Yes, that was.
Anyway,
that was a 10 out of 10.
Does somebody, at the end of the season, did a winner get anything?
Well,
aye.
Yes, we've not.
We'll be in touch. So what we've got for you, Colin? Obviously, we give them a pennant for every contestant.
That's lovely.
Contestant.
I'll put that in the loft
on the podcast. Wee mug and a wee Kieran as well.
Oh, brilliant! Thanks.
All right. So that's for you.
Thanks very much.
There you go, mate.
I'm going to give you a Shrewsbury top, mate.
What have we got? Oh, nice.
Yes. Look at that. Number 7. Show it. Bring it
7.
in front of the camera,
Number
Col,
7,
so we can
that's-
see.
That was my number.
Bring it
Can't
over
even
this
see
way
it
a
where
bit.
am I
There
going?
we
There
go.
There we go.
Oh, that's lovely,
I
that.
had to wear that. I was built like the
I was
size
gonna
of a
say.
fiver.
It's a bit
It's a large.
It's the fucking size of the strips. And
That's more than a large.
it's like cotton. So seeing when it was pissing down, it was
Heavier than your
horrible.
body.
I know.
Fantastic.
That's great.
I've also brought a wee something. If you
Do you know
want
what
to
that's
get away.
like? You
Show
know
us
what?
up to everyone.
You know what it's like? See when they cover the seats. Okay. The big banners.
I've also brought something if you want to give to one of the fans.
What is it
Oh,
called?
yes.
It's my Easter Scotland
That's fantastic.
Championship medal.
You're joking.
Wow.
Oh, I've got 2 of these because I won it 2 years in a row, didn't I?
97.
2000 and 2001.
Oh, 2001.
So it is. Easter Scotland Premier League Division winners.
Fantastic.
I thought you could give that away to somebody.
We've got something hopefully special coming up pretty
Yes.
soon, and this will go down a treat, I think.
Oh,
Amazing.
absolutely.
Thank you very much for that. I really
Colin,
appreciate
As long
it.
as that wee
Fantastic.
Caleb Miller fan, he doesn't win it. Then I thought it would be a win for the fans.
It's brilliant. Let's
it's
have a
a
look at that.
Brilliant one. Peter will have a nice look at that. Have you enjoyed this show today, Colin?
Brilliant, mate. It's always great having a chat with you, isn't it? Had a couple of beers with you last week as well.
Yes.
Just to get invited on. Really pleased. Thanks very much for having me.
Absolutely, mate. No, brilliant. Like I say, it's someone I know very well anyways.
Spent a lot of time recently in
recent
since
years. Yeah, definitely. It's again, weirdly, with your connection with Annan, as you always mentioned, you never spent that long at Annan, but was a player.
I know.
There was always that connection, wasn't there?
I know. I had a year and a half as a player, but it feels as though I've never been away every time I come back.
Yeah. No, it's
Love
great.
it.
It's
Love
great,
the
and
club.
like I said, the 3 years, 2 years I kind of had with Colin Murphy and that, fantastic. Like I said, I would have went with him anywhere they went apart from Queen's, but if I was asked. But aye, it's great.
It's good that you still see them, obviously, in the same league at the moment.
100%.
So it's good that
It's always nice to catch
competitiveness
up.
against each other. But you stay friends within.
Of course, well,
the
after the
footballing
next
circle.
game, the 28th of December, 100% me and Peter will have a beer together.
Yeah.
It's just without that, it's going to happen. So it's I'll be on the bell if he's won that time. So
Well, that's it.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
1 all, isn't it,
One
for the
all,
season?
1 all. Aye, no, good. It's good.
Have you
Thanks.
enjoyed yourself, Cammy?
Oh, been great. It's been great. As I say, you learn a lot when you do these interviews and invite guests on. You see a different side of it. A brilliant career, loads of administrations. We'll probably not, but again,
It's true,
we'll
aye.
not hear that side of it from many players. Not loads of players experience it. As I say, a fantastic career, loads of goals. So thanks for coming in, sharing it with us, Colin. I'm pretty sure the viewers and listeners will love it.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
a massive thanks to you, Colin, for being our guest
No worries. Thanks
today,
very much,
and
guys.
good luck for the rest of the season with Queen itself as well. A big thanks from me and Pete for watching and listening to the Black and Gold podcast. Stay up to date with all our stuff, all our content. Keep sharing and liking everything on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until the next episode, it's bye from us at the Black and Gold podcast.
Fly.